right, so there's more going on this morning than yesterday in terms of in-play stuff. A lot more opportunity, it seems. Market yesterday continued higher, confirming the break from this consolidation to the upside. All the failed breaks to the downside last week. And so more people are going to start chattering about a retest of the high. Still going with what I said yesterday's morning meeting in terms of normal upside from a break of this, which would be 278 to 280. We go back to when we topped out, we had this gap down here on February 2nd, started at 280, got crushed, came off $5 that day. So we're coming back into that. We're right at 278 right now, which is where we broke down that afternoon when the market started its large decline. And that would be a pretty interesting spot. It's Tuesday today, end of the month tomorrow. I think the way that I'm going to play this, I'm traveling actually tomorrow afternoon, and I'll be out of the office Thursday, Friday, is if we can get up to 279.5, 280, I'll buy the Friday 277.50 puts, something like that. Maybe sell the 275s, and see if we can pull back from that area there. So on IWM, we also got a confirmation of this move. And actually, the interesting thing about this one is you had a chance to, with the gap up, you had a chance to buy it into this. So it came right back down into this bottom of this resistance zone here, became support, closed at the high. Definitely a laggard though, but we've seen this before when the IWM has lagged the SPYs and hasn't looked as strong. It's moved sideways for a while and then it does one of those jobbies, something like that. The opposite of this down move right here. That's a good example of that. And that's a good example of that. So maybe this one will move sideways for another week, and then you'll get one of those straight up moves to 159, 160. All right, MNK. So this one is definitely a beaten down name, kind of part of that sector, the VRX and all those other names, HCMP, PRGO. This one hasn't bounced. So we know VRX doubled off the low. It's gapping up right now. The bid's above 18. So if we go back to last quarter, it gapped down to 26, came into 19 and a half. And they crushed it. Now this one, they beat EPS and revenue, beaten down stock. As I said, the bid is right about here right now. So the first thing I look at is back here on January 30th, it gapped down 20 and sold off to 1760 that day. So I want to be long this. It's beaten down. Things look good. And so the first thing I want to do is if they start selling it on the open, how much does it get hit below $18? Does it come all the way back into the 1750, 1760? That's actually fine. Just wanted to get back above 18 by 10 o'clock. And then it closes, if it closes strong, which would be, 19 plus, you ride it out as a swing. See if it can get all the way back up to 2050 where it came off from here. That's kind of the way my mindset coming in. If it doesn't come all the way into this area here to buy it, I'll watch to see if it's holding above 1850. If it does one of those vertical moves right on the open, where it goes right up to 1980 to 20, you want to try to fade it there. first time. That's probably okay as well. Just be careful. So on the conference call right now, hasn't really moved much. It's done 10% of its average daily volume in the pre-market. And we zoom in. You can see they were buying it here at 18, then the buyer stepped up to 1810, 1820. So it's very methodical, which I like to see, 18 buyer, 1810 buyer, 1820 buyer. So we'll watch that and see if the buyers are still consistent as we come into the open. Next one is NTRI. So this one, so the numbers were really bad here. They missed by 25% on EPS, but they had a large guide down for next quarter. Almost all the earnings they guided down, but that's all they guided down for the year. So they're acting like next quarter is going to be it, and then things will be normal after that. I think the biggest risk here is that people, the reason why it's down 27% is people don't believe that it's a this quarter, next quarter problem. They're going to have to prove that things will stabilize. But the fact that they did that, there might be an options play here if this thing stabilizes. Let's see where it is now. So right now the offer is below 30. There's probably a play if this gets beaten down a few more dollars the next couple of days to like 26 or something, 25. There's probably 6 months out buying like some 35 calls and selling them 40s or something like that. But if they actually do what they say they're going to do, which things are going to stabilize after the next quarter, I think probably it has a good shot at rallying back up to this area here. But in the meantime, for our purposes today, first attempt at a bounce in the after hours took it up to 32. It failed, came back down to 30, then they broke it down. Hasn't really been much below 29. So my first thought is we want to see, if you can see in the after hours, it did spike all the way down to 28.5 and came back up to 29. So the two levels we should focus on for the open are 30 and 29. If it flashes down here, then the buyers step back into 29. We'll watch, see if it bounces to 30 and then kind of take it from there. Could fail at 30 again, and then even take out the after hours low and come in further, depending on how badly people want out. But let's see. Let's see what the high was. So it was 60, got up, gapped up here on earnings last summer to 68. That was the top. And yeah, it's pretty beaten down now. So there definitely could be a battle here in the 30 area. We'll go from there. I'm going a little bit slow. I'm going to start to move through this a little bit more quickly. All right, so Macy's. So Macy's bottomed, reported good numbers, guidance for the year. It trades at a pretty cheap multiple. Let's zoom in and see what the bottom looks like. So you had real heavy volume off of the bottom, move off the bottom. Then it just kind of went straight back up to the mid-20s to this 24 resistance. I guess when the market sold off, it took that out and got back above it. It's now, have we filled this? Yes, we filled this. So we're gapping to right here. And so we got to go back in time a little bit to say, okay, these hedge funds that are gotten in here, the numbers have stabilized. And, is it going to work its way back up to $40 a share? I think that's probably hedge funds that are in it are starting to think that. But at least mid-30s. So right now it's just a bull flag accumulation at 30. What did I put on the sheet for a number? So yeah, so if this holds here, I put 33, 34, not because I necessarily think they're going to get there today, but just if it is strong today and closes near the highs, I thought they will keep on pushing it into that area. I put 30 as an inflection because obviously they're buying it here in the pre-market. If it fails to hold here, it comes into 29.50 and comes back up and can't get above, then you could think about it coming off some more. It is, it is up. It's about 60% from the lows. So, but I think general rule of thumb on something like this that's beaten down, we like to take a double off the bottom if numbers stabilize, and that puts us back up into the 34, 35 area. So, and it's also very liquid. So this could actually be a pretty good stock today. Next one is AKRX. They are doing an independent review. I'm not sure what the catalyst for this review was, of making sure that their data, they didn't cook the books basically on their drug trials. This company is supposed to be taken over. It's been moving sideways for a while in the mid-30s, so I assume the takeover price is somewhere in the mid-30s. What I read this morning was basically it could be worth as low as $8 a share if the takeover doesn't happen. So I think where it's trading right now is probably people are looking at it, the risk is about equal to the downside and to the upside. If the deal goes through, it goes back up to above this chart here. If the deal doesn't go through, it probably goes down to $8 to $10. They released a statement saying they're doing an independent review. They haven't seen anything yet to show that there are data integrity problems. I would think that would get some people to jump in and buy it. I don't know if it gets it to bounce all the way back up to 24, 25, 26, but I could definitely see it bouncing. Already you saw the buying in the after hours in the 18 to 19 area. It's bounced about 20% off the lows, 25%, something like that from here to here. I would watch to see if it flushes down, makes a higher low, and play it, for a move back up to 22, and maybe even goes all the way up to 24. That's my thought there. Again, sometimes in these I don't talk about them or don't put them on the list because I think there's too much of a halt risk. But in this case, the company came out, made their statement, said they're not making any more statements. So I don't think this is going to get halted today. Unless it moves 10% in under 30 minutes or whatever, or 10 minutes or whatever the volatility hold is. The next one is CRZO. And I don't know why this is down so much. That's why I put this on here. You can see the initial reaction to earnings went down to 1650. Did I put a bid in here? I didn't. Let's see here. This thing did run up a ton in the last 6 months. So let's just take a look at it before it ran down. So it was down here in the fall at $12, $11, $12. And it doubled, which was insane. And now it's given back most of that. But this is really an interesting level here. Did I put 1470 on the sheet? Yeah, I put 1450, so maybe a little overshoot. But 1450, 1470, there's a lot of support here. You can see going all the way back to when it broke down and put in the bottom in August. Came back up, moved sideways here. So there is definitely some bounceability potentially from here. Below that, it's this, 1380 to 14. It's extremely steady right now. Sellers are in control. But I guess the way I would look at it is I have 1450 alerts 14, buy on the flush, have alerts 15. If it gets to 15, moves sideways, and then starts to hold above 15, then I would look for a bounce back up to here. TAL, right. So yesterday, shorted this at 37. That was our first resistance on the game plan sheet. It never got above there on the open, came off a bug and a half. Covered most of it. Trailing stop got triggered, I think, here on this big green bar. And went all the way back up to 37. So that's actually pretty bullish. And if we step back out, we know that the stock was in a very strong uptrend. It did, it retested this support from the prior day, closed strong. If it starts to hold above 37, we move right back up into, do a retest of the highs, or at least $38. And then Apple, I just put this on here. We haven't talked about it in a while. It's right back up at the all-time high. So let's just take a quick look at the daily. So this was down in the low 150s when the market was tanking. Right back up at the high. We know that Buffett sits his largest position. That's permanent capital now, so those short shares are never going to be sold, or at least not for years. lowers the float a little bit, and all Buffett's copycats. So, I don't know if that's enough for it to break through. First time gets to 180, fails. Maybe you catch a move back down to 176, 177. A clean break above 180 and a retest, then sure, play for another up leg. But I would think first time touches, it fails there. It's very liquid. So yesterday's high resistance is around 179.30. And then Aaron had a couple questions in here. MDXG was yesterday. People were shorted. It gapped lower. Right, so it had gapped lower and then moved sideways, and I guess people were shorted coming into yesterday because of the breakdown here. And it caught a bid. I mean, it went straight down on the open to $6, and bounced all the way back up to $7.50. Then made a higher low. It's definitely, people are buying it now, clearly. Seven is really the first thing that catches my eye. 7 by 7.15. It's a big bounce. It closed near the highs. It looks like to me it's heading back up to $7.80 to $8. That's what it looks like. And then TTPH, which I haven't looked at. Oh, is this the one from, what is this? I did not actually look at this. Ooh, so this is interesting. So the FDA accepted their NDA, new drug application. Clearly, this was bad news here. This happens a lot, by the way. Let me just make a general point on these stocks. This is a way you might make some money over the years. A lot of these stocks, they gap down from like 10 or 8 or whatever, and they go down to like $2 usually, between 2 and 3, and they just get accumulated for a week or two. And quite often, they go back up to $4 or $5 before going back down to 2 again. So it's just because they're so cheap, and people can they're like, oh, it's cheap, there's no rational. But anyway, in this case, they walked into some potentially good news after people were buying it. Maybe they knew of this news before that happened. I'm assuming that news was this morning that I just looked at and not yesterday. If it was yesterday, that would probably make more sense. People knew about it in advance. So yeah, it's a gap fill situation. I don't think it's a short. And maybe if it failed at like 350 where the gap down was to here. If that's why it failed here, then that would be a different story. That would be my thought process on that. And it's done volume recently. It's done, the day it gapped down, it did 16 million shares. And then yesterday it did 9 million, so it's going to be very liquid as well. Probably people will be trading with 30, 40, 50,000 share clips. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.